In the castle, Charlotte gazes at Haruto's live surveillance feed and notices a suspicious individual deep within the forest. She promptly informs her elder brother about this discovery. Haruto observes these individuals, identifying them as potential burglars. Inside the room, Flay approaches Haruto, expressing concern for his well-being after hearing from the young Charlotte that he has been confronting wrongdoers alone. Flay offers her assistance in his valiant endeavors moving forward and reiterates her desire to accompany him. Charlotte, too, suggests that Flay join Haruto, envisioning her as a fellow hero. Haruto, however, is hesitant about the idea of Flay accompanying him. He suggests that she focus on her responsibilities assigned by the castle lord. Flay explains that she has already completed today's task of cleaning the entire courtyard and has successfully dealt with the demons in the vicinity. Haruto ponders how to politely decline without hurting Flay's feelings. Meanwhile, Charlotte becomes excited about the prospect of Flay battling bandits and imagines her as a heroic partner. She shares stories of heroes having partners or allies to aid them during crises, leading her to propose Flay as Haruto's partner in justice. Flay enthusiastically agrees with the idea, acknowledging her lesser power compared to Haruto but insisting on her capability to offer some assistance. Both Flay and Charlotte appeal to Haruto, leaving him with little choice but to accept Flay as his partner. In private, Haruto converses with Flay, expressing his concerns about her aggressive approach in combat, particularly when observed by Charlotte. He requests that Flay adopt a less intense fighting style to prevent exposing Charlotte to graphic scenes. Flay comprehends the situation, and their journey begins to apprehend the four burglars. Meanwhile, the four burglars convene to discuss their recent success in accumulating a substantial amount of wealth from their recent heist. Just then, Haruto makes his heroic entrance, proclaiming himself as the dark warrior of their realm, determined to vanquish the shadows. The bewildered burglars exchange puzzled glances, wondering who this enigmatic figure is. Another individual, claiming to be the Red Warrior, joins the scene, but in reality, it's Flay alongside Haruto. Flay is ready to swiftly dispatch the burglars by invoking her fire magic, intending to incinerate them. However, Haruto intervenes, preventing Flay from taking violent action, emphasizing the importance of avoiding any disturbing scenes for Charlotte's sake. Despite his efforts, Flay persists and attempts to scorch the burglars. Haruto steps in, erecting a protective barrier around the intruders to shield them from Flay's fiery onslaught. Perplexed by her attacks being thwarted mid-air, Flay remains unaware that Haruto is behind the defense. Determined to break through the burglar's shield, she employs even more potent fire magic. Yet, before she can unleash her full power, Haruto swiftly delivers a firm punch to her head, reiterating his stance on maintaining a non-violent spectacle. Flay remains baffled by Haruto's message, proceeding to unleash her flames upon the burglars. Haruto, frustrated by her persistence, instructs Flay to leave and return home. Misinterpreting Haruto's intentions, Flay believes he wants to confront the burglars alone. In an attempt to support him, she positions herself behind him instead of heading back to the castle. With the burglars dealt with, Haruto returns home and collapses onto his bed, seeking a moment of rest. He reflects on Flay's lack of understanding and resolves to rest. However, his tranquility is short-lived as Charlotte enters his room, expressing admiration for Haruto and Flay's recent skirmish. She expresses a desire to witness another battle, even though the current one has just concluded. Flay pledges to put on an impressive performance next time, and Charlotte eagerly anticipates it. Haruto, however, decides that he will no longer take Flay with him on such missions. He fears that her actions could tarnish his reputation as Charlotte's elder brother. Meanwhile, Charlotte takes the initiative to teach Flay a signature move tailored for use against adversaries. She provides Flay with comprehensive instructions on its execution. Haruto, overwhelmed by the ongoing events, contemplates when he might find solace and tranquility once again. On a different front, Crown Prince Leia channels his frustration by punching his pillow, unable to bear the embarrassment of being defeated by Haruto. He grapples with the situation, questioning how circumstances have turned against him. As the rightful heir of the Shining Princess bloodline, Soleus, perplexed by Haruto's unexpected prowess despite being a level 2 mage, ponders the source of Haruto's power. Meanwhile, the minister calls Leia for dinner, and despite his reluctance, Leia dons his attire and heads to the dining hall. During dinner, the minister suggests Leia invite Charlotte to an upcoming convention, citing the need for a companion during the journey. Leia, however, asserts his preference for solitude, but the minister emphasizes that it's a direct order from the Majesty. Resigned, Leia agrees to extend the invitation to Charlotte. Back at Gold's castle, dinner time arrives, and Charlotte calls out to her older brother to join her for the meal. She apologizes for not knocking, a habit that Haruto has grown accustomed to. Haruto makes his way to the dining hall, where he admires the opulent spread of dishes. Charlotte informs Haruto that she has received a personal invitation from the prince to participate in an inspection event the next day. Concerned for his sister's well-being, Haruto resolves to attend the inspection as well, to ensure her safety in the presence of the seemingly foolish prince. During the night, Haruto contemplates his preparations for the impending day. He embarks on an investigation of the travel route for the inspection, ensuring its safety by identifying potential traps or hazards along the way. As he surveys the area, he stumbles upon a gathering of malevolent mages engaged in the summoning of a dark entity. Haruto recognizes the nefarious intent behind their actions. Deciding to take matters into his own hands, Haruto assumes his alter ego as the Dark Warrior and approaches the mages. He questions one of them about their purpose at the location. However, another mage reacts with hostility, sensing the presence of an imposter among them. Unfazed, Haruto employs his extraordinary magic, swiftly dispatching the mages and making it clear that he will not tolerate their malevolent deeds. Amidst the chaos, one of the surviving mages sacrifices himself to complete a sinister summoning circle, bringing forth a horde of undead soldiers. Haruto fearlessly engages in battle, utilizing his sword to decimate the skeletons one by one. Witnessing their failure, the evil mages resort to summoning a colossal rock golem to assail Haruto. Yet, Haruto identifies the golem's vulnerable point, targeting its spirit core. He rewrites the spell, bending the summoned creatures to his control, demanding an explanation for their malevolent actions. The leader of the mage group initially remains silent. Haruto, unyielding, threatens to bury them alive if they refuse to divulge the truth. As desperation sets in and their lives hang in the balance, the mages beg for mercy. Finally, their leader opens up and reveals their affiliation with the summoner unit operating under the Elder Princess. They admit to planning an incursion during the upcoming inspection, casting a shadow over the impending event. Haruto demands an explanation for their sinister plot, and the leader discloses that their goal is to assassinate Charlotte, revealing that the Elder Princess is behind this nefarious scheme. Haruto is taken aback and ponders the Elder Princess's motives. He realizes that the princess likely perceives Charlotte as a threat due to her immense potential, capable of surpassing even the royal Elder Princess herself. This revelation connects the dots for Haruto, explaining the Imperial soldiers' previous attacks on his family. With a surge of anger, Haruto initially contemplates a forceful response. However, he recognizes the futility of succumbing to rage and opts for a more calculated approach. As dawn breaks, Haruto and Charlotte proceed to the inspection alongside the prince and princess. Charlotte mentions Leia's recent loss to Haruto, attempting to lighten the atmosphere. Haruto tries to diffuse the tension caused by Charlotte's comment, though it further provokes Leia. Leia eventually regains his composure and points out that Haruto refrained from using elemental magic during their duel. He muses whether Haruto might be the reincarnation of a demon, as it's the only explanation that aligns with Haruto's unconventional magic abilities. Perplexed, Haruto turns to Charlotte for clarification, leading her to elaborate on the concept of demon-human hybrid offspring. She explains that the offspring of a demon and a human possess a low likelihood of exhibiting demonic traits, often resembling humans while wielding powerful magic. Marion, the princess, confirms Charlotte's explanation and elaborates on the exceptional physical prowess and magical abilities of such hybrids. However, Marion notices that Haruto lacks any telltale demonic features like horns, distinct eyes, or unusual ears. This leads Marion to dismiss the notion that Haruto is a half-demon. Charlotte playfully interjects, offering her own perspective by describing Haruto's physical attributes, emphasizing his smooth and delicate appearance. With an air of pride, Charlotte openly shares that she frequently showers with Haruto, explaining that she knows his body well. Her revelation leaves Leia and Marion feeling uneasy, and they chastise Haruto for what they perceive as shamelessness and inappropriate behavior. Haruto attempts to explain himself, but realizing the futility, he falls silent. Perplexed by the reaction, Charlotte questions Leia if she isn't supposed to shower with her brother. Marion starts to explain the cultural differences and implications of sharing skin between men and women. But the conversation abruptly ends as her brain becomes overwhelmed by emotions. Thankfully, the topic changes as the group arrives at their destination, a vast, breathtaking golden wheat field. Charlotte and Marion eagerly run into the field to revel in its beauty. Meanwhile, Haruto takes the opportunity to speak privately with his father. He discloses the elder princess's plot to assassinate Charlotte. Gold reveals that he is already aware of the situation, having received a message from the Dark Warrior the previous day about the malevolent mage group's intentions. Uncertain about how to handle this crisis, Haruto proposes getting rid of the elder princess. However, Gold advises against such a drastic action, explaining that the country relies on her to maintain stability, especially considering the ill king's precarious position. Gold recounts the events of 12 years ago when the king's crusade was led by Jitsu, who single-handedly slew the Demon King. This feat led to her becoming the Elder Princess, and her ambitious desires for the kingdom's power have become evident. Gold believes that the situation will change once someone stronger than the Elder Princess challenges her rule. Haruto suggests that Gold become the next king, but Gold expresses his inadequacy in matters of politics and governance. He believes that Charlotte, with her potential, might be better suited for such a role in the future. With this in mind, Gold imparts upon Haruto the responsibility to protect Charlotte until she becomes queen, nurturing her abilities and guiding her towards a future leadership role. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more anime videos.